Order up!
Welcome to a brand new episode of the Order Up Podcast. I'm Taryn Williams. Thank you so much for checking out this brand new episode. So in this episode, I'm going to be giving a brief review of the new Injustice animated movie that just came out recently. At the time of me recording this podcast, I believe it came out about a week ago, so it hasn't been out too long. And I just wanted to kind of give my brief opinions on it, yay or nay, if you will, if you want to see it, if you don't want to see it, things like that. And for me personally, it's an okay movie. It's actually not a bad action movie with, the DC heroes. But honestly, compared to the Injustice video game story mode, which the anime movie is based off of, it really falls kind of flat in my opinion, compared to how good that story was and how it translates to this animated movie. And for me, some of the things that were just missing, there's just certain really big parts of the video game that the animated movie just didn't touch on. Just some of the really big parts. And one of the biggest things was in the video game. Excuse me. There's this serum called Super, which is actually spelled 5UP3R, and it gave kind of regular humans the abilities of, or they gave extra super strength, durability, things like that. So Green Arrow could fight Superman and not get completely destroyed, which is kind of the MacGuffin of the game, with how that kind of happened, and they explained it in the story. But the animated movie didn't even touch on that. And the animated movie is very streamlined, where you get the big point of the story, which was Joker killing Lois Lane, or actually Joker kind of tricking Superman into thinking Lois was Doomsday, because he used fear toxin and stuff. Superman thinks Lois is Doomsday. He flies her up into space, accidentally kills her, but Joker had a detonator for a bomb on her heart. So when she died, the bomb would go off in Metropolis, destroy 40,000 people, I think, destroy the entire city. Lois was dead, and Batman actually took Joker back to Gotham, and of course Superman went to Gotham, punched Joker through his chest, through his heart, and killed him. And Superman just kind of lost. He became what we know as Injustice Superman, but he just became very, very unhinged. Not necessarily evil per se, but he just lost. He was heartbroken, devastated, unhinged, angry. He's just all these things, and that's just how it came out. And in the Injustice video game, we see that we see that story play out too. But we also get the alternate universe where we see what happens with Superman, where he becomes kind of a tyrant, pretty much. He rules the world. Wonder Woman is his right hand and his queen. Then he has Green Lantern, who becomes a Yellow Lantern because he's evil in this universe, and Batman becomes one of his right hands as well. Flash, all the heroes become basically villains in the Injustice universe in the video game, while all the villains become heroes. Joker becomes Red Hood, becomes kind of a vigilante. Harley Quinn becomes a hero, things like that. And then Green Arrow is kind of in between, because I think he knows Superman's on bull, but he tries not to get in his way because he doesn't want to get killed. He's Superman still. Now, I think Aquaman is on Superman's side and stuff like that. But in the animated movie, they don't really touch on any of that. You see the story, you kind of see Superman going through the world, getting rid of guns, getting rid of as much violence as he can, creating peace treaties, and really becoming this, I forget his version of peace. That's kind of what he tries to accomplish. Get rid of as much violence, as many weapons, tanks, nukes, all this stuff to kind of stop violence, to create his idea of peace. And Wonder Woman's been kind of behind him 100%. But everybody else is kind of nah, I'm not sure. There's also a split between the Bat family, because Damian, who is Robin at this time, he sides with Superman. He's hey, he killed the Joker. He's trying to stop all these bad people. Why are we not helping him? And Batman's he's doing it the wrong way. It'll consume him and things like that. Because one of the biggest things with Batman, if you're a Batman fan, he never kills the Joker. No matter all the bad shit the Joker does, Batman has never killed him. He's arrested him, he put him in custody. Joker always escaped. Batman always catches him. It's this repeating cycle. And Superman did the one thing that Batman was never capable of doing, which is just killing him. And so it's just kind of interesting, because even in the anime movie, we don't get a lot of fight scenes. There's a couple of fight scenes between Batman and Superman have a quick little scuffle, not a whole lot. But there's a prison break scene where Harley Quinn is with Batman trying to get revenge on Superman for killing the Joker, because she's not necessarily, she's still kind of, she's still a villain, but she's just trying to work with Batman to maybe keep herself alive and maybe get some revenge on Superman. and she lets out a lot of the prisoners at Arkham. So there's like this fight scene, but that's pretty much it. Like that's really the only real fight scene we get in the whole movie, really. There's even a part in the movie, in the anime movie, where Mr. Terrific talks about kind of the multiverses and things like that. He explains that's the Batman, and Batman kind of sort of doesn't pay attention to him, but he explains the concept of the multiverse and how there's all these different Earths out there and things like that, which sets up the finale of the movie, which we actually get Superman versus Superman. We get Superman more from our timeline versus Injustice Superman, which is the most Injustice video game thing that happens in the entire movie. Like it's just kind of like, it's weird. Like it's all really plot. It's really more about Superman going through the world and trying to create this peace. The government's not really liking it, but they can't really stop Superman. Like there's a part where the U.S. government does something, and Batman finds out it was the president. He goes to him like, "Hey," if Superman finds out, it's over. Like he will kill you. And the president's like, Superman's not gonna kill me, and Batman of course disappears. So there's a lot of stuff like that in the movie. There wasn't really a lot of like infighting, or a lot of what made the Injustice story mode so cool was seeing the good guys as villains and you kind of fighting them with some of the bad guys that become heroes and stuff like that. That was really cool. The Flash dies in 5 seconds, or he dies like in the first 5 minutes of the movie, which is wild. 'Cause I think he's a pretty big part of the Injustice storyline. I think he plays a pretty significant role, I believe. But he dies in the first 5 minutes. Jimmy Olsen gets killed. He gets shot in the eye, which leads to Superman kind of slowly starting to become more enraged. There's not a lot of blood either in the Injustice animated movie. Like, it's more storytelling. It's not a lot of fighting. It's not a lot of, you don't really get, like, even when they had like the Justice League, and the Justice League is kind of split in half between Superman and Batman, between rolling with Superman or kind of rolling with Batman. They kind of split the Justice League in half, and the Justice League pretty much breaks up because Shazam's a pretty big character in the Injustice video game storyline, but he does nothing in the animated movie. Most of the Justice League characters do absolutely nothing in this movie. Pretty much nobody. Like only Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern does a little bit. Cyborg's pretty important. Raven does a little bit, which is nice to see. Seeing Cyborg and Raven get some pretty decent tick in the movie. And Mr. Terrific is the person who I'm pretty sure brings over the other version of Superman, to fight injustice, corrupted Superman. But other than that, it's not a whole lot. It's kind of disappointing. Like, I was really excited about the movie. I thought it'd be cool to really see them kind of go at it and really take bits of the video game and make it animated and really have. Also, the movie's short. The movie's only an hour and 18 minutes, I believe. I thought it was gonna be like 2 hours, maybe a little bit beyond 2 hours, maybe 2 hours and 15 minutes, something like that. Like, it's just over an hour. Like, it's an hour and 18 minutes. So it's not long at all. Like, I had really high hopes for the movie, and it just didn't quite scratch the itch I wanted, which was really sad. I thought it would have been a really cool idea to see this happening in live animation. I thought it was really cool. It's one of the few misses WB has had in a while, personally, in their animation department. I thought Injustice was like the perfect setup to all this about just. It's not even a really good action movie because there's not a whole lot of action. It's more just dialogue and story and building this up, more exposition than actual fighting and being kind of this injustice story. It's really weird. Like, maybe they'll do another one where they expand on it, but you had the two Superman fight at the end of the movie. I'm pretty sure that's like the climax. Like, that's what happened in the first video game, where you end up having Superman versus Superman, and that's kind of the climax of the video game, the climax of this movie. But it just didn't feel like the movie didn't feel like it built to it properly. It was kind of weird. Didn't really like it. Don't really care for it personally. So if you're a fan of Injustice, I will probably skip this one, honestly, because it's okay. Like, if you like DC Universe and you like the Injustice video game, maybe just check it out for that. But you might not like it. Like, it's not that great. I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10, like a 2 out of 5, something like that. It's not great. Like, it's really not a great movie. It doesn't quite just do what I thought it was going to do. I thought it was going to be really cool. A lot of action, seeing evil versions of all the heroes, seeing kind of the rogues gallery of like Batman and Flash rogue gallery step up and become heroes, because that's kind of what happens in the Injustice universe, but it doesn't happen in this movie. So that's my review of the Injustice animated movie. Check it out. Tell me what you think. Of course, like the podcast, share the podcast, all that good stuff. I want to get more podcasts up. I want to try to do a podcast a week. We'll see how well that goes. But always thank you so much for checking out the Aura podcast and supporting the podcast. I've been doing it for I think 2 years now, but just appreciate you so much. Always and forever slicing, dicing, gaming. It's not just a motto; it's a lifestyle. I'll see you next podcast. Later.